guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Eileen from Makeup by Eileen. If you're already subscribed to this channel, welcome back guys. So for today's video, I thought it would be really fun to start like a little mini series revisiting makeup in my collection that I haven't played with or used in a really long time. Shout out to my cousin-in-law, she suggested this. She's like, you have so much makeup that you haven't had time to play with on camera, why don't you just revisit some old makeup and get your thoughts on what it was like when you first tried it versus now. And we have a whole bunch of makeup in front of us. I'll probably do more palette reviews because I tend to collect more eyeshadow palettes than anything else. I'm an eyeshadow palette person. But today we kind of pretty much have a full face, so let's jump right into this video. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to start off with is the primer, which it's right in front of me, I thought I forgot it. And this is the MAC Prep and Prime Moisture Infused Serum Hydrating Serum. It's like this. I used to use this all the time as a primer. I actually had like backups to my backups. I had 3 or 4 at a time, and I haven't used it in a hot minute. I think if I can remember correctly, it was a very nice tacky primer, but I kind of started gravitating towards more pore filling primers and oil control primers, but this is a very nice gripping primer. So let's get a few pumps out here and see what it's like after not trying it. I probably haven't used this primer in, it is a new one, it's not expired, but I probably haven't used this type of primer on myself. I'm guessing 2-3 years, probably like 2 years to play it safe, but it could probably be even 3 years. It's not as sticky as I remembered it. It feels more just like a moisturizer with a slight bit of tackiness to it. I think, yeah, as it's drying down, it's getting a little bit more tacky. So let's let that seep in. Sorry, my brain is completely fried today. A million things to do. Okay, then we have the Essence. This is really old, and if I'm not mistaken, it was never my shade. So let's pray that it is my shade now that I've got a little bit more color to me. It's the Essence Insta Perfect Liquid Makeup. It says Strong Matte Effect Waterproof, and this is in the shade 70. Does it have a name on it? It says it's a buildable coverage. It just says 70 on it, and it looks like this. It's a tiny little bottle of foundation. How many mils is in this? It's got 30 mils of foundation in it. It comes in a little squeezy bottle. So let's grab some on my palette over here. It's actually almost finished. I used to be obsessed with this foundation. Don't know why I stopped using it, probably because I was reviewing other foundations. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but this is pretty good shade match. Either it's just that I'm more tanned than I was when I first started using it, or it oxidizes. So let's pray that it doesn't oxidize, because it's not going to be fun. But so far the shade's looking really good match. Definitely like a light medium coverage foundation. It's not completely full coverage, but it's not completely like medium coverage. It's a light, it's more than a light coverage foundation, but it's not completely full medium. Let's see if we can build up another layer on the face, because I squeezed out quite a bit of it, so we might as well just use it instead of wasting it. does build up a little bit. I wouldn't say it's completely full coverage, but it does give you some extra coverage. This shade is like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it looks pretty on point. So I was actually, if it ends up that I'm obsessed with this foundation, hopefully Essence still makes it, because I've noticed with Essence at the moment that things that they used to, like the foundations and that, are changing, because they've come out with so many different foundations. I don't know if they even make this one anymore. We'll have to have a look as soon as I'm done filming. If this feels good, and if it's super mattifying, then hello. Yes, please. We all love, well, I love a good matte foundation, so that. I'm just going to grab what's left on the palette and just bounce it into the skin, just to kind of press in the foundation. I prefer doing that nowadays, well, now, than just leaving it with just the brush. It just kind of smooths out any brush lines. It just gives it like a more in your face feeling, like it's pressed in nicely into the skin. Okay, I don't have any, well, I do, but I think they're like dried up, so I actually need to check them out. So I'm just going to put the LA Girl Pro Concealer on, and then I'll be back with setting the face. Okay, so now that I've put some brightening concealer under the eyes and it's all blended in, let's jump into what used to be a real favorite of mine from Essence. I've actually broken the lid. It's so used. It's the Essence You Better Work Gym Proof Waterproof Fixing Powder in Translucent. I think the reason why I didn't like this, well, I loved it, and why I stopped using it, is it leaves a very much of a white cast on the face, so like some flashback business. But let's hope and pray it doesn't do that today. I'm going to just grab it on my Essence powder puff, and I'm just going to, I think also why I stopped using it when my skin started getting dry was it tends to look a bit like cracky and like over powdered, like very set, like crusty and yuck. Because if you overset it, it does, I suppose because it's such a strong setting powder, it tends to make your face look like a Sahara Desert if you overset it. So I'm just going to lightly press it into the skin. Doesn't look like it's making the skin too white. I think my main reason for stopping is I think I was over powdering and I was a little bit more dry than I am now, and I think it kind of just made my skin look terrible. Like it accentuated your fine lines and your wrinkles and your pores and that, but it's looking, I think it's looking pretty good right now. So that's something. Okay, the next thing that I was completely obsessed with was my first ever Kylie Cosmetics purchase. Actually, I lied, my second. A lip kit was the first. The second thing was the Coco collection by Kylie Cosmetics. It looks like this. Mine looks terrible. As you can see, it was my favorite bronzer. It's got 2 highlighting shades and then the blush. So let's have a whirl at this guy again and grab what we can of this contour, seeing that it's completely almost out, and just bronze up the skin a little bit. hate it when a product that you obsessed with hits pan, and to get it, I don't even know if Kylie Cosmetics still makes this, but I was obsessed with this, and now that it hits pan, like I'm like, I don't want to use it. So that's why I stopped using it. It was because I hit pan and I couldn't get it back into my collection, and it was like, okay, I'll just keep it as a memory and not physically use it anymore. And now that I'm using it, I'm like, oh shoot, I wonder if they still make it, because I actually really like this. It's like when I'm tanned, it's the perfect shade. It's just so nice. I don't think I've ever used the blush. I'm going to see what the blush is like today. I don't think I've physically used the blush. I know I've used the highlighter, but I haven't used the blush. Contour nose brush. Just lightly warm up the sides of the nose. And this is actually my second palette, because I did buy two straight away. When I did get it, I got two because it just looked so good. And I've gone through two of the contours, or bronzers, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's give I like to just go over my contours so I don't have any harsh lines. Everything is nice and blended. Let's get a blush brush and try this blush, but it is a very corally brush. It is very bright, so I'm going to be very careful with it. Yeah, it's a very pigmented blush, but it's actually not an ugly blush. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty, like a coral blush. Actually, low-key enjoying this blush. I think when I got it, I was more into your contouring and highlighting, and I was like, ugh, blush stage. I hated blush. So I think that's why I never actually physically used it. Okay, let's give the face a spritz. I used to always use my Catrice Prime and Fine Multiple Fixings, multi-talented, whatever it is, fixing spray. It's a prep and set spray. I always use this. So let's set the face with this. I also used to use the Essence 24-hour long-lasting setting spray. Okay, I'm just gonna, while this is soaking into the skin, I'm gonna pop off camera, do my brows, and then we'll be back to do the highlighter and our eyes. Okay, so my brows are on, the eyes are prepped and ready to go. The setting spray is kind of settled down a little bit, so let me grab my highlighting brush, and I'm going to grab both of these highlighting shades and mix them together. I kind of used to do that because the one's a bit too light. I just want to dust it off. It seems like it's got some bronzer in it. Just pick up both and then just gently. Oh, that's pretty. Highlight my face. Highlighter is gorgeous. So that, then I like to take a little sponge, powder puff, whatever you want to call it again, and just go over the highlight, just so I don't look crazy, that they can see me from space. And for our eyes, I actually made my cousin-in-law pick it out, seeing that it's her idea. This is the only Morphe palette that I own that is just Morphe by itself without a collaboration, and I think it is the 35W palette, or is it the 35A? I'm not sure. I'll check it and put a little insert at the top here. It looks like this. It is a very neutral toned eyeshadow palette, but it does have some pops of color. So let's do a little bit of a smoky eye today. I haven't done a grey or black smoky eye in a hot minute. I'm just going to grab a very big fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into a transition shade, even though it is a smoky eye, and I'm going to grab the shade over here. I hope you guys can see, and just work that under the brows. I don't know why I don't use this palette anymore, because I actually really like it. And the shadows are very pigmented. I think, if anything, I wasn't very impressed with the shimmers, because they're not like a sparkly shimmer, it's more like a satin shimmer. Which is not the end of the world, but I think just reach for other palettes. Because of testing new ones all the time, you kind of gravitate towards the newer ones, not the older palettes. So this is a really cool way of utilizing the palettes I don't use anymore. I'm going to grab this a very dark cool brown shade and I'll work that in my crease with a small crease brush. Keep it in the crease area, like by your eye socket. And I'm just going to gradually build that up, the pigment up. I'm just going to blend the two colors together. And make sure it's nice and deep in the crease like that. Let's do the other side. Together. Okay, and I'm going to go in with a smaller, where is my brush I want to use? Anybody else have that problem when you have like a favorite brush and you just don't know where it is? Because maybe I have too many brushes. Actually not, I don't have enough brushes, mustn't lie. Okay, I'm going to go into this black shade over here. And I'm going to put that on the outer corner and a little bit in the crease. Stamp it down. Just make like a little, just like a V shape with the black. Just like that, just so it's a little bit of extra depth, so it's more brown but with a pop of charcoal black in it. The look I mean, not the shadow. just here where I touched the brush where it's not supposed to be. Okay, let me grab a little blending brush and I'm going to go straight into the darker shade, but just pick up a little bit on the brush and smudge out the lower lash line. And then connect it into the black on the corner. Just like that, and do the same thing on the other eye. Just like so. And I'm just going to grab, I need to clean my brushes. It's the week of the deep cleaning for my brushes, and I feel like every brush I pick up is a brush that I need to use, and it is dirty with some sort of color, and all the brushes I want to use seem to have a bright color on them for some unknown reason. Anyway, okay, I'm going to grab this very dark but slightly lighter than the shade. It's got a bit of a sparkle to it. I don't know if you guys can tell, it is slightly sparkly. It's got like just a shimmer in it, and I'm going to put that on the middle part of the lid, and then I'm going to do the grey, I think. Yeah, actually I don't know, I say that and then I'll probably change my mind. I'm just going to place it where there's any space on the lid where I didn't put that black by the V, and then I'm just going to pat it into the eye just like that, and do the same thing on this side. It's like a dark black charcoal color, but it's just got like, it almost looks, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but it almost looks wet. It's like shimmery, but it's not shimmery. It just looks like a nice wet, almost like a glossy eye look. This color, the color looks glossy, not a glossy eye looking really. Okay, I think because this is so dark and dramatic, I'm going to go into this, which one should we use? The lighter one. I think I'm going to go in with this shade over here. It's a nice little satin shade on the rest of the eyelid, and then in the inner corner I'm going to go into this nice peachy shimmery shade. Grab a little packing brush. And grab that shimmery shade, but it's a little bit darker than the one I'm going to put in the inner corner. It's almost like an antique gold looking shade. We just blend it into the black so we don't have that harsh line anymore. Just like that, and then do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, let's grab a tinier brush and grab that very light shimmer shade and hit the inner corners of our eye just to open it up, seeing that we have such a dark dramatic eye look. Just wake up there, just like that. Whew. Throwing my brush, literally popping out of my hand. Hey, it's not a healing makeup video without me throwing something around. For you, those of you that are not new yet, you will know. If I'm not knocking something over, I'm throwing something. Not on purpose though. Like, I don't hate my makeup that I throw around. Okay, so grab a tiny little brush and just highlight the brow bone with a nice matte bone colour. Just like that, and that's the eye look. I think, yeah, it looks pretty good like that by itself. I'm going to revisit an old favorite. It's the Catrice All Round Mascara in Black, extra volume and lengthening and curling mascara, but I will pop off camera and do that. I'm also going to put on the Color Boost from Essence. This guy over here, it is like a tinted lip gloss. I used it the other day when I was filming, and it is really nice. I really enjoyed it, and it really hydrated my lips. So, and then I'll be back and let's see what I think of all my old favorites. Okay, you guys, so that's that for my final look on revisiting old makeup in my collection. It's a new series that I want to incorporate on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if it's something that's okay, or if it's just like, no, we don't want to see that, that's old school. But I think it will be really fun. Obviously this was pretty much a full face, but in future videos will be more of eyeshadow palettes, because I have 8 drawers full of eyeshadow palettes. I do know I did count them a while ago, but I have got quite a bit more in my collection, and it was over 100. Tati did a video where she said it would be interesting to see how much makeup you guys have, like how many eyeshadow palettes we have, and I watch her channel obviously, and I decided to count them, and I actually almost shat myself because I didn't realize I had so many eyeshadow palettes. I knew I had a lot, but not that many. But anyway, it is what it is, it doesn't matter. So I thought it would be really fun. Like I said, my cousin-in-law came up with the idea, and I think it's a really cool idea. Instead of the makeup just lying there and not getting used, let's reuse it, revisit it, see how it compares to the newer palettes out there. Obviously Morphe is a very well-known eyeshadow or makeup company, and their stuff is generally really awesome. I absolutely love this palette. I think the reason why I got this palette is because it's very neutral, but you can create multiple color looks, well, multiple natural and smoky eye looks, and very light makeup. It also, I think it's more for like, to me, the everyday person, or like a bridal palette to use on clients. So that's really cool. It is gorgeous. I absolutely love it, and I suppose I don't use it anymore because I'm always getting new stuff in. But if I don't have anything new to test out and I'm doing something off camera, this is a palette I will be reaching more for. The MAC Perfect, the Prep and Prime Moisture Infused Serum Hydration, this guy over here, it is really nice. I'm not sure if MAC still makes it. If they do, I'll be picking up another one. It's very nice. I think it would be nice to mix in with one of my mattifying pore minimizing primers. It does get pretty tacky once it dries down a bit more. It's not as tacky as the Wet n Wild priming serum, but it is very nice, and it does kind of like juice up the skin a little bit. Sorry, my hair is irritating me. The Essence You Better Work. Oh, this thing is so busted up. I can't even close it. The Essence You Better Work Fixing Powder, this one here in translucent, it's not as bad. I think I used to apply it with a damp sponge, so it used to get a lot more product on the face. If you just lightly set your face with it, if you're an oily girl and you just gently set your face with even a big fluffy brush, I think this will be really good. It definitely, if I'm wearing a foundation and I film, by the time I've done my eyes and my lips and that there, I can kind of feel the oil starting to push through, and I don't feel that now, and it doesn't feel set. Like if you move your face is going to crack up. So I really enjoyed revisiting that. I'll be reaching for that more. This foundation from Essence, I hope they still make it, because it feels really good on my face. It feels super lightweight. It is definitely a buildable coverage foundation. I think you can get more of a full medium coverage with it. I don't think you could get a full coverage with this guy. But yeah, this shade 70, even though when I picked it up a few years ago, or yeah, about 2-3 years ago, it wasn't my shade. It's definitely my perfect match for summer, so I'm going to have a look if they still have that, because I definitely want more. What else did we try? The lips, I'm obsessed with this at the moment. It literally stays by my mirror right on my makeup table. I do not put it away. It's like my favorite juicy lip. With wearing masks, your lip goes everywhere, and by the time, if I want to leave and put a mask on, if I need to wear a mask or whatever, I can just wipe it off. It doesn't take away my makeup, or it's not a hassle to get off, and my lips feel juicy and hydrated. It's not sticky, so I'm glad I pulled that out of the archives as well. The Catrice All Round Mascara, this red one over here, is stunning. It feels like it's kind of running low, so I need to look into if they still make this, because I really like this mascara and I need to get another one. Then my Coco Collection by Kylie Cosmetics palette, the bronzer, yeah, the pressed powder palette is really nice. I really like the blush. The highlight, when I mix the two shades together, is gorgeous. This contour slash bronzing shade of here, you can see how I've used it. It's stunning. It will be really interesting to see if Kylie Cosmetics still makes that. I should pop on their website after filming this and have a look, because if they do, I'm getting one. Anyway, that's that for this video. This is Friday revisit old makeup in my collection. Well, not old makeup, revisit makeup in my collection, and seeing how I feel about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a super wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.